to First Light. Now, let me do some due diligence and get your comments on the screen so I can see when you're commenting. Um, welcome in, welcome in. Well, hello from YouTube. Oh, that's a demo chat. Oh, okay. I'm like, okay, what is that? What is that? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry about that. I like to be prepared when I come on screen, so sorry for not looking directly at you. I believe that when I turn the camera on, I should not be looking nowhere else but at you. So forgive me for that. Good morning, and my name is Athena. If you are joining here live for the first time, welcome. I welcome you. Now, if you comment in the comment section, I am going to try to open one of my pages just in case I miss the live, and so I can see comments on one, because for some reason one of my Facebook pages, the comments does not come in. But nevertheless, today we're talking about Esther. We're talking about Esther and the risk of being chosen. Entitled this morning's presentation as the risk of being chosen. I want to talk to us women who knows the position she once prayed for. I want to talk to the women who knows she is in a position she once prayed for. I'm going to say that again. I want to talk to the women who knows she's in the position she once prayed for. But now that she's here, she feels the weight of it, not the excitement, the weight. Have you ever prayed for something and then you prayed, good morning, Allison? Have you ever prayed for something and then God gives you that something, and then you have it in your hands, or you have it, or you're in it, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm nervous. Like, what do I do with this? How do I function? That's what we're going to talk about today, right? And I am basing this storyline from the story of Esther in the Bible. So let's go. Because it is one thing to ask for elevation, and it's another thing. Good morning, Miss Marlin. It's another thing to realize elevation comes with expectation. It's one thing to ask for something, and it's another thing to realize that elevation comes with expectations. So let's talk about Esther, not the version people soften, the real one, not the version of Esther that people often soften. Esther did not start as bold as many of us presented in the Bible. Esther, she started hidden. She started hidden. Even when she was chosen as a queen, she was still carrying instructions to stay quiet about who she really was. She had access, she had access, but not expression. She was present, but not fully known. And some of you understand that too well. Sometimes you're present in an environment, but people ask you to just be in the background. They don't want people to know that you're the person behind. Good morning, Miss Faye. Welcome. People don't want you to know that you're the person behind an idea. For example, let me bring you into reality of what I may be talking. Suppose you are someone who baked a cake, right? You baked a cake and you took it to a function. This person who's hosting the function wants to talk about how delicious this cake is, but they don't want to give you the praise. Have you ever experienced that? Have you ever been in a situation where you put in the work, but somebody just don't want to give you the credit for it? Let's continue. You are in rooms where you have influence, but you are not showing up your full self. You have the seat, but not the voice. Now, here is where the story shifts. There is a decree. There is a decree. A decision has already been made that will destroy her people. And Esther is in the palace while it is happening. Let that sit for a moment. There is a decree. A decision was already made that will destroy Esther's people. And Esther is in the palace while it's happening. And she's the queen. She is positioned, she is protected, she's comfortable. And still, destruction is moving forward outside of her comfort. That is where many women are right now. You are you have stability. You have some level of peace, but something around you is not right. And the question is not, do you see it? The question is, will you involve yourself in it? Will you involve yourself in it? Good morning, Miss Jillian. Will you involve yourself in it? Because involvement will cost something. When you involve yourself, it will cost something. And Esther understood that. If she goes to the king without being called, she could lose her life, not her title, not her comfort, her life. So, when people say Esther was so brave, I want you to slow that down for a minute. Before she was brave, she was conflicted. Before Esther was brave, she was conflicted. She hesitated. She weighed the cost. And that really matters in understanding this story because hesitation does not mean you are weak. Somebody comment in the comment section for me. I want to know that y'all are talking with me and you understand what I'm saying. Hesitation does not mean you are weak. When you hesitate to do something, it does not mean that you're weak. It means you understand what is at stake. It means that you understand what is at stake. But then Mordecai sends a message, and it is not soft. He does not say, take your time. He does not say, do what feels right. He says, in essence, if you stay silent, Esther, deliverance will come from someone else or somewhere else. Mordecai says to Esther, if you stay silent, deliverance will come from somewhere else, but you and your own house will not escape. And then he adds something that changes everything. Who knows if you have come into this position for a moment exactly like this? That is the part people quote, but they miss the pressure inside of it. It is not just encouragement, it is accountability. It is the realization that your position is not random. And more than that, your silence is not neutral. And let me bring that closer to you so you can understand what I'm trying to say. Some of you have been asking God, why am I in this position? Why am I here? Why did I get this opportunity? Why did I survive what I survived? Now, I'm going to ask y'all the question. Can y'all answer me that in the comment section? Have you ever asked God, why am I here? Why have I survived what I have survived? Why did I get this opportunity? Or are you in the blame game of, oh God, um, if this didn't happen, or if this body didn't do this to me? And have you ever looked at your testimony differently? Because that is what will be the game changer. I had moments in my life where I asked God, why did you allow this man to beat me so bad? Bust up my face. I even asked God, why you said marriage is of you, and a man who findeth a woman, findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. But yet I had a husband that cheated, a husband that didn't give a rat's about me. Like, why did you allow these things to happen to me if you are God? Have you ever asked yourself that? If you are my father and you want all good things to happen for me, why did you allow me to go through these things? Nobody ain't answering me, so I guess y'all ain't went through nothing. But I'ma still keep talking while y'all decide if you can play in your mind. Have you ever asked God, why have I gone through these things? And you're waiting for a sign for God to tell you why you went through that stuff. But the sign is the responsibility sitting in front of you. The responsibility to tell of God's goodness because your testimony does not belong to you. The things that you have gone through does not belong to you. It's not for you to keep it private. You know, like how we Caribbean people or we Guyanese people like to say, we ain't telling we business. We can't tell. We can only tell some, or we can only tell. Your testimony does not belong to you because there's somebody that's waiting for healing, and it's gonna come from you, right? But let's continue. Esther does something that does not get talked about enough. She does not move immediately. She pauses. She calls for a fast. She gathers herself before she takes action. Because rushing into purpose without preparation will break you. She understood that if she was going to risk her life, she needed to be steady, not emotional. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Many people react because they feel pressure. A few people respond with clarity. Esther chose clarity. After the fast, she makes a decision. And her words were this simple: if I perish, I perish. Now do not rush past that. That is not a dramatic language. That is alignment. That is a woman who has counted the cost and decided that obedience matters more than the outcome. And here is what is the difference about this version of Esther. She moves with strategy. She invites the king to a banquet, then another one. And then she creates the space and studies the timing. She does not just have courage, she has control. So now this is the power of a woman's mind. We underestimate how smart we are and how strategic we are. Now she wants to talk to the king. And remember, let me refresh your memory. She wants to talk to the king. And unless the king calls for you, the queen, you're not supposed to approach the king because you will lose your life. So Esther said, I perish, I will perish if I perish, but I'm going to become strategic. So now she's building courage. Before she hesitated, now she's building courage. She has control. Some of you have courage, but no control. You want to speak, but you speak too early. You want to act, but you act without structure. Esther teaches restraint. I ask you guys, listen to me. I know it's early in the morning, and this is my commitment to come and share with you. But I'm asking you kindly if you can interact, comment, hit the like, the love button, share the video. Please be a blessing to someone else. Don't harden your heart. This is part of love and extending love. And extending love don't always mean I spend my money. It could be by action. You share the video, you comment in the comment section, you interact with me. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I'm asking you guys to comment in the comment section and there's no comments. Like, are you guys serious this morning? Anyway, I'm praying that you get the strength to use your fingers. That's my prayer today. And you want to speak, but you speak early. You want to act, but you act without structure. Esther teaches restraints. She shows that power is not just in what you say, it is in when you say it. She shows that power is not just in what you say, but it is when you say it. And when the moment is right, she speaks, not as a victim, not as someone begging, but as someone who understands her position and uses it. She reveals the truth. She exposes what was hidden, and everything shifts. Here is what I need you to take from this, because this is what I took from this. Esther did not become powerful when she got the crown. She became powerful when she stopped protecting her comfort. Esther did not become powerful when she got the crown. Esther became powerful when she stopped protecting her comfort. Some of you are still protecting comfort. You are protecting relationships that require your silence. You are protecting environments that benefit from your hesitation. You are protecting versions of yourself that feel safe but keep you small. And I am going to say this plainly: comfort is not always a blessing. Sometimes comfort is a test. Sometimes being comfortable is a test and not a blessing. Because the real question is not, are you chosen? You already know you are. The moment you were formed in your mother's womb, you were chosen. The real question is, what are you willing to risk because of it? Esther risked being rejected. She risked being misunderstood. She risked losing everything she had gained. And still, she moved, not loudly, not carelessly, but decisively. So this morning, I want you to examine your position. Where are you placed right now? Not where you want to be, not where you used to be. Where are you right now? I'm going to say that again. Where are you placed right now? Not where you want to be. That's not a question. Not where you used to be. Where are you today, this morning? Okay, Miss Jillian, where are you today? And what is in front of you that requires your voice, your action, or your presence? What is in front of you that requires your voice, your action, and your presence? Because you can stay silent, you can stay comfortable, you can wait for a safer moment, but understand this clearly: there will always be a reason to wait. You will always find a reason to wait. There will not always be another opportunity to respond. And let me leave you with this morning. Some of us keep asking God for clarity, but what you really need, or what we really need, is courage with discipline. And when you leave this live, I do not want you emotional. I want you to be honest with yourself. Honest about what you have been avoiding. Honest about where you have been quiet. Honest about the responsibility attached to your position. Be honest about your responsibility attached to your position, because you were not placed where you are just to enjoy it. You were placed there to do something with it. Wherever you are in your life right now, you were placed there to do something with that position. What are you doing with your position where you are right now? Because you were not placed where you are just to enjoy it by yourself. You were placed there to do something with it. And if you are still unsure, I want you to sit with one question today. What am I protecting that is costing me my purpose? What am I protecting that is costing me my purpose? And I'm going to share a testimony with you before I go. Excuse me, I'm looking at the time. Well, I can't share the testimony. I have to clock out. Take your time with that question. And when you have your answer, move. When you have your answer to what you're protecting that's costing you your purpose, then move. My name is Athena. This is the Athena Show, the first light segment. I hope this was a blessing to you. This is my interpretation of Esther because many of us are Esthers in today's world. We hesitate to do things and we think, well, okay, whenever we go to church and the pastor presents the story of Esther, we only hear of Esther being brave. We don't hear that Esther was hesitant or Esther acted like how we act in today's society where we are hesitant to do things. So I wanted to use the example that Esther hesitated before she became brave. So whatever you are protecting that is costing you your purpose, I want you to think about that. And when you have the answer, move. Have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Bye.